Hi everybody, Beanmeister22 here, and today we're going to look at a couple of vintage Hollywood magazines. These are Screenland magazines. What is Screenland magazine? Or should we say, what was Screenland magazine? It was a monthly American magazine about the movies in Hollywood. It was published between 1920 and 1971. Somewhere around 1952-ish, Screenland merged with Silver Screen, and that's where you come up with the Screenland plus TV Land magazines. And I do have a couple of those also. We'll look at those in a different video. So this being essentially a Hollywood magazine about movies, the modern equivalent might be Hollywood or Entertainment or maybe even People magazine. Either way, these are vintage, they are old, they are in very good condition, but let's see how old they actually are. So the first one we're going to look at here is from October 1948. Yeah, that's a long time ago. This one has quite a bit of wear, and if you look on the front cover, some kid took a ballpoint pen and tried, filling in the words that said Screenland, They did a kid thing. Does that make this uncollectible, incollectible, not collectible? Well, not to me. If this was done last week, yeah, maybe. But this was probably done in 1940-something by some little kid who probably got in trouble because he marked up his mom's Hollywood magazine, who had no idea that 76 years in the future, somebody would be looking at this and saying, man, I bet that kid got in trouble. I mean, really, it's epic. But yeah, kind of messed up the magazine cover. And I'm sure that's what Mom said. You messed up the magazine cover. You're grounded, or you're getting a whooping, or probably both. Go stand in the corner. Don't be drawing on Mom's magazines. But when you did something like that as a kid, did you ever think that 3/4 of a century later, someone would look at that and said, what the heck was that kid thinking? I bet he got in trouble. Yeah. If you flip through the pages, you can definitely see it was a different era. You have pictures of different Hollywood stars, people we know, Jerry Lewis, famous people. On the cover of this is Rita Hayworth, with featured articles about Yvonne DiCarlo, Barbara Stanwyck, Cary Grant, famous actors and actresses of a bygone Hollywood era. Now let's take a look at the other magazine. It's in much better condition. This one is from July 1951. A few years later than that one. Definitely much better condition because no kid drew on the front cover. But also still a long time ago. On the cover of this one, or in other words, the cover girl, is Janine Crane. I don't know who that is. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm sure all you Hollywood buffs out there already know who that is. And just one page in, there's a full-page advertisement for the movie Showboat. New and in Technicolor. So yeah, some of you people would say, that's a Hollywood rag. It was a Hollywood rag back then, 70-some years ago, and it's a Hollywood rag now. And as strange and debaucherous as they would back then think something like this is, except for that whole communist thing going through Hollywood. Hollywood back then had a heck of a lot more class than it does now. But I guess that's progress for you, right? Alright, if you haven't asked yet, what the heck am I doing with these? Why did I pick these up? Well, I saw them, so I bought them. Back then they were 15 cents. Now they cost around $10. So let me tell you a really quick story. When I was in high school, senior in high school, my girlfriend at the time, who later on in life I may or may not have ended up marrying, and then may or may not have ended up divorcing. Yes, how romantic. Anyways, her mother was looking at buying a house, and we went and looked at these big old Victorian houses, not necessarily mansions, because they were in older neighborhoods, but these are 3-4-story houses. And in one of the houses we looked at, the entire attic was full of boxes of old magazines. And even back then I was something of a collector. And I'm rifling through these boxes, and the deal was if you bought the house, it came with all the crap that was in the house. So my vote was, I didn't have a vote, but my vote was, hey, really should buy this house. It's great. It's close to where you work. Because I wanted these boxes of magazines. Even way back then, These boxes contained magazines and comic books that were 50, 60 years old, old Life magazines, even the old Playboy magazines from the 1950s. We're talking old magazines, not just Playboy, but Time Life, all these boxes upon boxes. And there was Golden Age and Silver Age comic books in there, some in really good condition, some in horrible condition, but still had value. And I'm thinking, man, how can I profit off of this deal? So yeah, my vote was, you should buy this house. They didn't buy that house, they bought a different house. Still an old Victorian, still 3 or so stories high, still a huge house for just 3 people living there. No, I wasn't one of the 3 people, but really classic old house. I preferred that other classic old house because I thought I was going to profit off all that stuff in the attic. Because my girlfriend's mom had said, nah, I don't want that junk. We're going to have to pay someone to haul it away. I said, I will haul it away for free. Yes, if I buy this house, you can haul that stuff away and I'll still pay it. I'm saying, yeah, I am going to make bank on this. So I've always liked to collect old things. It's that whole don't turn away or turn your back on a good deal. And then when I saw these, I can't tell you if they're a good deal or not because I only fleetingly remember about this magazine. I've heard about it. I've seen cover art from it online. I've actually seen a few of these in places and said, wow, that's kind of neat. Maybe I should pick a few of these up. But I'd automatically assume there would be more value if it's somebody famous on the cover. As with all collectibles, if it's about somebody famous, it's worth more. So yeah, that's how I ended up with these. And then why, when I have this one that's in really good condition, did I also pick up this other one with scribbles on the front cover? Well, like I said, there's probably a really cool story behind it. We will never know. And because this is one of the deals that if you buy this one, we'll give you this other one. That's a little bit older, and really 1948, that's really old. Not that something from the early 1950s isn't old, but yeah. All right, so do you collect old magazines? Do you have old magazines? Are you old enough that you remember seeing these as a kid? Well, I'm not that old. Leave your comments in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching.
Beanmeister 22, the most dangerous man on YouTube.